It is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you all to this media launch of the second season of the Corruption Not in My Country Advocacy drama skits and the unveiling of our new radio drama series titled Never Again. The idea of getting the country involved in fighting corruption came into being precisely around May 2007. I began to research on the issues. Scripts were commissioned, written, and archived. All of these resulted in the production of 30 full video messages in 2016. The process of creating this dream and building life into the dream has not been without challenges. When we kicked off this project, we were unknown, but through self-driven efforts and encouragement from family, dependable friends, and colleagues, we have persevered. Citizens know about the Not in My Country project, but they hardly know we hide our head in one obscure location from where we roll out. This is what it takes to expose wrongdoing in the society.
By traveling around the country, I noticed a lot of things that I never knew before. Number one, I noticed that Nigerians are indeed good people, ordinary Nigerians. I noticed that people become bad people the moment they start having money, too much money. Ordinary Nigerian, the Mama Akara that sells Akara in Parakot, is not different from that Akara seller in Gombe. I noticed that what divides us more in this country is class, those who have a lot of money to kind of influence how we do our things. Now, corruption is something that is, we talk about it a lot. When you look at politicians today, those who are going to contest for the next year election, most of them don't tell us what they are going to do about corruption. Because what you find is that a lot of them are corrupt indeed. The power sector, where I work, people ask us questions all the time, even on television when I go on advocacy programs. They say they sold it to their friends. You know, that was 2013 privatization, PACN, the former NEPA, into discos. Why people keep on saying this is because when you look at the investors of all these GENCOs and discos, transmission is still in federal government hand. For the disco that I represent, 11 of us, only one of them has foreign direct investment. That was not the plan of those who planned the privatization. That was not what Mr. Jonathan government set out to do initially. What happened was that that government sent people all over the world, Geneva, London, New York, Dubai, Japan, everywhere, to sell the idea of us as a nation looking for investors to come and invest in the power sector. And at the end of the day, none of the investors showed up. They didn't want to invest in the Nigerian power sector. And we had reason later to ask them why. Even when you see some foreign companies like Siemens and some other companies who have a lot of presence here, they use the locals, Nigeria, just like Essential, you know those big three, big this, big that. Go and look at their Nigerian CEO. The CEO of the Nigerian arm of Essential is in Nigeria. It's always an Englishman. If you go to America or Canada, it'll be a Canadian person. So those ones are different. It's like franchise. But in the case of the power sector, they said the problem with Nigeria is that Nigeria has not changed. That if they come and invest, there's no guarantee that they'll be able to recover their cost. They said Nigerian government is known for not respecting sanctity of contract. The only one with foreign direct investment, guess where they come from? Zambia and South Africa. Yes, none of the discos have, what we have are technical partners, South Korea, America, London, Philippines, all those ones are just technical partners that you pay them for their work, not investors. So people get scared because of who we are. We are truly a corrupt nation. have seen it a lot. In fact, corruption has gone through everywhere and everybody. Not everybody is corrupt. There are very good, honest people everywhere as well, even in the power sector. But what you find is that Nigeria is something I don't know where, when, or how. People like Macarthur, those who have always been activists, can tell us that, where we got it wrong. But I know there are good people in this country, and there are greedy people in this country, and there are very terrible people in this country.
Most of the time we talk about corruption in Nigeria, we only look at those stealing billions. But the person that the young boy, the 6-year-old boy you sent to buy you bread, and he comes back and he doesn't want to give you your change, he's already growing in the corruption process. So if such a person now happens to become local government chairman, you can imagine what he's going to do with the state funds. So I'm very happy that today he first launched in my country, which has been very, it's been very encouraging for me, because I knew how this whole thing started.
When we are talking about corruption, what do you mean by corruption? There has been a lot of negative effects about the corruption in the educational sector, such as low quality of education, mismanagement of public funds, unqualified teachers, wretched facilities, unorganized extracurricular activities. Besides, a large pool of skilled labor in Nigeria also need a very strong, hard-working young population that strongly values hard work and uses its knowledge and skills to acquire the best results. Young Nigerians should also be encouraged that hard work will greatly help them to get wherever they want to be in terms of future career. However, corruption seriously undermines such attitudes, values, and beliefs. If corruption is left uncontrolled in the educational sector, and students are able to bribe their teachers in order for them to get good grades and pass school exams, believe me, there won't be any incentives for them to work hard as before. Let's move to the aspect of exams. When we are talking about exams, exams are designed to assess students' abilities and to give them good incentives for them to learn their subjects. But instead, they are used as a tool for teachers and instructors to pursue their personal ends at the expense of high-quality education. Furthermore, corruption also involves the way students view success in life. In some cases, students might even suggest that they don't need to work hard in order for them to live a good life. But if they get a good government post, they could huge personal fortune through corruption. Whether it is true or not, such view is very disgracing in the country. Another major concern is how students are being exposed to some forms of corruption or malpractice while in school. This exposure to corrupt practices might even reduce the students' respect to laws and regulations. Students might even say that, yes, I don't need to do this, but through corruption, I can bribe my way out. And even though the students get in trouble with the school, they could often bribe their way out. Law breaking and bribery might lead to chaos and social disorder. And the lack of respect might even allow the government to find it difficult in developing the country. As a student, we are the future of a nation. This simply implies that the national security of the nation depends greatly on the educational sector in order to produce capable leaders. It is therefore the right time, and this is the right time, for anti-corruption work to be extended in the educational sector. As a student, I suggest that the government should set up several ways in order to curb corruption in the educational sector, and most especially in the high school. Corruption not in my country, never again should be the slogan in the mouth of every true Nigerian student. Thank you.
Corruption is in every facet of our Nigerian life. You see, it's not the Oga or the politician they are chopping the money in Abuja or whatever it is. It is, you know, amongst us here. It's everywhere. It has really eaten deep into the fiber of our society. The wife takes top money in the house, goes to the market to buy food stuff to the house. What happens? What happens? She chops part of it and does what? Before the end of the month, the mom will start shouting again. So, Daddy, money no day again. We need more money. So it has really eaten so deep. And I believe very seriously that once this issue of corruption is, we can't eliminate it but once it is yes, we will definitely develop, you see, as a country and as a nation. My advice is that let us all do what? Join hands together, you see, to make sure that we get this this multi-hydride corruption out of out of Nigerian life.
It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to this great event. My name is Jeffet Sudani from the ICPC. It beats everybody's imagination how a country with great human and natural resources could be tagged as one of the poorest nations in the world. This is what corruption causes. We are now being discussed in the same sentence with countries like Yemen. So what is this corruption all about? It has been said many times that corruption destroys human progress, feeds inequality, finances war and terrorism. That is why we are very glad for events like this. I would like to commend the efforts and dedication of Akin Fadeyi Foundation in raising awareness on corruption. He has been a worthy partner with the ICPC and has been in forefront in the fight against corruption. So I urge every group, every person to emulate him by joining the fight against corruption. If we all could display accountability, transparency, and integrity in our services to everyone, then the country will be a better place for all of us. Thank you so much, and you're welcome.
I don't know whether to call it corruption or dishonesty. The first speaker that spoke said that we are groomed in it. Incidentally, I went to a school where our motto is Fidelis in minimis. Is there anyone that can translate it? It's Latin. Fidelis in minimis. Faithfulness in small things. If we can be faithful and teach our offsprings and future generations to be faithful in little things, like the little child that was sent to go and buy bread, and he comes back and keeps the change, and you have to ask for the change. If you don't ask, he will not bring it out. And then you will say, oh, it's negligible. It's a small amount. It's from that small amount that it grows. This is where parents, particularly mothers, come in, because most of the times they are with the young ones. The fathers are out looking for something to feed the family with. It is very, very, very important that we do what we can do at the beginning, at the small level, at the grassroots level, with these young ones that are growing up, so that by the time the ones that carry it in billions go up, because definitely they will exit. They will leave the scene, whether they like it or not. By the time they leave the scene, the ones that are coming up will give us a country with integrity. A country that people would aspire to go to that place to see this country. May God help us.
We at the Macarthur Foundation, we are very excited about this work. We are very excited because we believe that whatever we do as a foundation in this country, unless we tackle the challenge of accountability and anti-corruption, probably we are not going to make significant impact. We may be able to build a hospital, we may be able to build a school, but if those infrastructure that are supposed to go to the people do not actually go to them, then we can see why there will always be a problem in this country. And that's why the foundation decided to focus on the issue of accountability and corruption. If you look at the reality of this country is not aid dependent. You know, whatever the United States government gives, the British government did, whatever do, we only give about 2% of our national budget. So this country is not a very poor country, and fortunately, this country is not an aid-dependent country. So we are able to actually do most of the things that we do. The real challenge is how are we using our resources so that it reaches the mass of the population. And I think that's where the biggest challenge we have. Therefore, in focusing on accountability and anti-corruption, we are also looking at what usually we call the grand corruption, which is the big figures that you hear from Abuja being stolen or by state governors or by local government chairmen. And we also focus on the retail corruption, which is what happens to us on a day-to-day basis. So as a school children, what kind of harassment you go through, trying to get your grades, trying to get your transcript, trying to go into admission, or in the electricity sector, NEPA 1, NEPA 2, maybe there is even NEPA 3 and NEPA 4. What happens to the police? You're a poor person driving a car. Well, first of all, as a poor person, obviously you will not even have a car. But you make you have the misfortune of having in a bus. Every one of you will have to contribute 20 naira in order to make sure that you pass the toll gate. The police know that you have perishable products. You don't want to really waste your time on the road, and they will try to waste your time, and you know how to get out of the situation. Therefore, you give them what they have to do and go. So this day-to-day experience of corruption is probably much more pernicious to most people than the big money that we hear from above. Because those billions, really, none of us really understand what these billions stand for. But we know that if you go 20 naira today to the police, 30 naira to the school teacher, we know this is a tax on us that we feel on a daily basis. In our own work that we are trying to do, we are really looking at a whole set of activities in covering different aspects of our lives. And the last point I want to make is that in looking at retail corruption, we are looking at power and education. Power is electricity, which have just been discussed. Electricity is a much more difficult area for us because we really don't know about electricity. The only people who know about electricity are very technical people, but there is very few civil society groups and organizations have any knowledge about electricity. But we know that if you remember at some point, NITEL was the bad name for everybody in this country. And then NITEL have hopefully to a large extent have been resolved. The next item, I'm sure when you ask people in terms of public utility or utilities, they'll talk to you about is electricity. And we know it's crucial, we know it's very important in improving the lives of our people. And that's why we thought that, okay, let's see how we are able to support work around electricity so that the public will be better informed, the public will be able to demand their own rights. Also, for the electricity companies like ANET, that's the association, will be able to also educate people about what are the challenges, what are the issues, what are the things that also confront them on a day-to-day basis as well.